What's up, everybody? Mark Alex here again with another How I Made. And today I'm going to be talking about Take Her Out from the Will She Hurt Me EP. So, this song came about, I think it was at least the second song. Yeah, I want to say it was the second song that I started really like kind of putting together. So the first song was the last song off the EP. What do you want from me? And that was like very like that was the ending. I knew exactly where I wanted to end. And so this song came about, and I remember hearing it and being like, okay, this is probably gonna be like what I want people to hear first, because the ending song was sad. Mr. Right hadn't been made yet, and then the other song, the second song, I hadn't focused on yet. I hadn't put any time into it yet. So I really just had these two songs, sad, and I don't know what this is gonna be yet. And so when I started making it, it became more and more apparent that I was like, oh, okay, this entire EP is gonna be about like, I guess like the trial and tribulations of what I've, done in my past, like, love life. And the more and more this song came, like I started playing it and playing it, I was like, yo, this song could be something. And I remember off of the Blurry Songs EP, I remember Snow being such a slow and like depressive and druggy song, which is what it was supposed to be. So I really wanted to focus on making this next song, like the very first song people hear, something that was just gonna catch them. And like I said, it may have been Mr. Right, but Mr. Right didn't come around until I think maybe a couple of weeks later. And so I remember being like, this is gonna be it. The song is really just about kind of more about me coming just in, like, I don't know, the way that I would kind of approach women when I would like start to be interested in them. I would, kind of take them out, do dates with them, whether it's eating, whether it's going out and buying stuff, whether it's just, doing stuff together. And then from there, I would kind of always leave things in a gray area. Am I gonna date her or not? Let me see what's over here. And one thing I want to get right off the bat clear is that in the hook, it says, "I go and take her out, so we exclusive now." That's actually me asking a question. It's not a statement. It's not me saying, "Oh, we're exclusive now." No, that's me literally asking myself a question like, "Are we exclusive now? I'm taking her out. I'm doing these things with her. Are we exclusive now? Like, are we dating? Like, what the fuck am I, you know what I mean?" I put a lot of like things from my experiences in there, of just like, taking her out, doing these certain things. I mean, she's the type to send the food back if it ain't right. I've dated a lot of women who definitely exemplify that. And then she's the type of send right. I'm just trying to figure out if you Mrs. Right, which is kind of an allusion to Mr. Right. And then she bring her whole wardrobe every time she spend the night, rearrange my whole closet because she said it wasn't looking right. I can't tell you how many girls and women in my life I've had, like, literally come to my house, come to where I live, whatever it might be, and they just rearrange my entire shit. You know what I mean? So it was crazy. It was crazy. In the video, I wanted to really make that apparent too. So that's the story behind Take Her Out. And now let's go and jump into the project. All right, so here we are in the Logic Pro 10 project. As usual, I'm always in Logic. It's the best one. No, I'm just kidding. But and so yeah, we can go ahead and kind of break down exactly what I did. So as usual, we started out with the synths. Now, this synth, this pad, whatever you want, wave pad, I don't know what you want to call it, but this pad right here is basically the entire reason this song exists. I remember going through Atmosphere and fucking around with it, right? And I remember hearing this sound, hearing the pad. It's called Subtly Smooth. Oh my God. It reminded me of a pad from Nexus, like forever ago, that sounded the same way. Like, it was like a regular pad, but it had like this, like these elements in, like, I guess like the tail end of like the sound. And in the original, and like in the Nexus pad, it had like these rainforest sounds, and I got the exact same feeling from this pad. It had like these like weird like starlight sounds in the ending of it, and I don't know. Every time I listen to this pad, I could literally just listen to this thing forever. So this pad right here, as you can see, it's literally only two chords, literally only two chords. But it just, I don't know, it just sounded so good. And then of course I doubled it up, you know, to give it some depth and shit. And then from there, just like Mr. Right, I was just playing around with like different like leads, different pads, different everything. And I came across this guy, which is called Octobel Lead. Yeah. And I this like same thing like with the other shit. Like this sound just like spoke to me. It was just like do noon, do noon, do noon, do noon. And for me, it sounded like a cloud, I guess, if that makes sense. Like it reminded me of the sky. Um, and I'll show you why that matters here in a second. So after I made those guys, this is all of it together. After I made those guys, I added in, you know, the regular shit. So here you go, you got my snares, my kick, my hi-hat, my bass, and my other kick. Or my bad. Snare, hi-hat, clap, trap bass, and then the kick. And I really wanted to make this, again, like a very simple song. Like I wanted it to kind of ride out, kind of like, oh, what's that one song? Drake and Playboi Carti. I was listening to a lot of Dark Lane demo tapes around this time, and one of my favorite songs off of that is Pain 1993. And it's mostly because the bass on that is just so simple. It's literally like Pierre literally just put on, like, I think it was Pierre. No, it wasn't Pierre, or somebody else, but it was still just like one bass, just do, do, do. You know what I mean? And so I love that. And so that's exactly where this came from. And so I remember making this beat and just being like, dude, this is such a pretty beat. Like, I love all my beats, but I remember this beat specifically, I was just like, this is such a pretty beat. And when I started thinking of songs to record over it, I did my usual thing where I'll just kind of freestyle a bunch of stuff, and whatever sticks, right? And so I'm gonna go ahead now and show you the references. So here are the original reference takes. They have layers on them, and this is why I said earlier, when that lead gave me like a cloudy feel, like a sky feel. This is where the original reference came from. She wanted higher now. I know exactly what I want, but I don't know right now. I take her wine her out. I go and dine her out. You know exactly what I want, cause I'll buy it out. I go and fly. And so you can hear, like, I was just kind of starting to, this is where like the entire idea of like, okay, let me talk about a little bit about, like, you know, flying around, like I'm paying for cool stuff, we're doing these things together. But I still don't know what I want. And that's where the entire idea came from. And then from there, I was like, I kind of was still on that, like, I remember making this song and being like, oh, I really want this to sound like, you know, like dreamy, very Cloud Boys, you know, very cloud rappy. And so I thought about layering it. And this is what it sounds like layered. She wanted higher now. I know exactly what I want, but I don't know right now. I take her wine her out. I go and dine her out. You know exactly what I want, cause I'll buy it out. So pretty cool, but I just remember thinking like, I think it's too much. And so that's kind of where I came along with the idea of just, you know, keeping the hook by itself until the very end. And so like I said in the Mr. Right video, it's so crazy when I go back and listen to the references, and I'm like, wow, like it's so crazy how just like a little reference can help build into an entire song. So one more time, here's the reference. Out. She wanted higher now. I know exactly what I want. And then here's the actual song. Now. I take a winer out. I go and dine her out. You know exactly what you want, but I don't know right now. I go and take her out. So we exclusive now. She knows. So again, like it's so crazy how just like a couple of things can change. And just like Mr. Right though, I was still using like a new vocal chain. So as you can see here, I was really cutting out some of the bass in my voice. I have my parallel compression going on here. And then I moved on to the verse. So the verse was pretty simple. I just cut out some of the lead double up here, and then cut out the lead completely. here at the end of this. So as you can see, so there's no lead doubled right here, and then I cut it out like right around here. I cut it out. And I added some ad-lib, which is something I really didn't like doing. And like I said, when I was making this song, I really wanted it to be the first thing that people hear, and it's a lot more palpable than just Snow, you know, because Snow came out the fucking gate just swinging on you, just being like, bitch, I'm doing drugs, I'm fucked up, and I'm sad. And I didn't want it to be like that for this song. I wanted it to come into your ears, play into your ears, and just have it be like, wow, this is really, really nice. And then I go and take her out. And then I had the hook, we come back in again. And then this is where I started to kind of bring the elements that you'll see in a lot of the other songs, in the EP, where I wanted like crescendos. I wanted, like the song to kind of build up the stuff, So and this one actually has a reference. So I'll go ahead and play the reference for y'all real quick.
Her out. You know exactly what you want, but I don't know right now, She's just might to stand back if it ain't right. I just wanna figure out that she misses right. I just trying to figure out if you down for the flight. While across the sun, cause you know I got it right. And I can show you how I live, and I can show her how it is. Rolling on this dope, yeah,
So as you can see there, like the reference it's crazy how I'll show you how close it comes. But it's still not the entire thing. It just blows my mind every time that how much a reference can help you get a song down. But as you can see here, I'm doing my parallel compression. And I got my ad-libs down here. And so this part coming up, this is where I said I was really experimenting with layers of vocals and stuff like that. So this one right here, I wanted to really kind of play with just like that. Kind of like the popping bottles and like a G6. I don't know. That's the kind of emulation I was going for. So when I made this, I was kind of like, I just want to show you how I live, spending all this money. I wanted to have like a chorus behind it. And so I just, recorded the vocals and panned them out.
Right, and I just want to show you how I live. Spending all this money, baby, something's gotta give. You know what you want, but I don't know if I do. I'll wine you out, I'll dine you out like they can never do. I go and take her.
And so here on the last hook, I did the exact same thing. This was, so taking from the original reference here, this was the hook that I knew I wanted to have like the original reference kind of sound.
I go and fly her out. She want it higher now. I know exactly what I want, but I don't know right now. I take and dine her out. You know exactly what you want, but I don't know right now. I go and take her out, so we exclusive now. She know exactly what she want, but I don't know.
And again, it was all about really building the song, building it up to a point where it's like the end of the song. Okay, we've been through this entire journey together. It's getting to the end and it sounds good. And with this song, as much as I wanted to repeat the hook, I knew it would be better if I just cut it off. When I ended this song,
you know exactly what you want, but I don't know right now.
The way it just ends is just like, I love it. And it was just one of those, this was one of those songs sonically where I was just like, yo, I am very happy with the way this came out. I remember listening to it over and over, and even to this day, it's probably one of my favorite sounding songs I've made in a very long time. I love the pads on it. I love the lead. I love the drum. I mean, it's literally one of those songs where I listen to it and I'm like, dude, I can't believe I made this. So going back, as you can see, I still have the same vocal shits and the same mastering shits. I'm not going to go through all that, but it was just a really fucking fun song to make. I wanted this song again to really just take people by the ears and not be as bold as Snow was, because Snow, the video, the everything about it was just so drugs. And I just knew that I really didn't want to talk about that shit in this EP, or at least not as much. And this song right here, I was talking about the lyrics earlier. It just really embodied like the way that I would put up walls, the way that I would kind of keep women in a gray area because I didn't know what the fuck I wanted. And it just, I don't know, it came out.
I go and dine her out. You know exactly what you want, but
It just came out in such a good
I go
way.
and take her out. So we
And I'm so proud
She
of the
know
way
exactly
that
what she
that
want, but I don't know right
it's,
now.
I had to put it
take a
first.
wine
And like I
around.
said, this was the second song. The saddest song on the EP and the most, I guess, like mainstreamish other than Mr. Right. These two just were like the beginning and the end, and that was like perfect. Everything else, like the other two songs going between them will be good, but these two songs are going to hold the front and the back, and that's all I really wanted. And I think I really accomplished this with this EP, or with this song and with the EP. Really kind of going into, like I said, just like that, just kind of, delving into my mind and really seeing exactly what was, why I would do the things that I did. So, but that's Take Her Out. The video I shot, shout out to Bella, shout out to, just anybody, that video was really cool. And, this song is definitely one of my favorite songs off the EP, and I really, really hope you guys enjoy it or are enjoying it depending on when you're watching this. So, that's another breakdown how I made Take Her Out. And yeah, go stream it, listen to it, run it up, and thank you for watching. I'll catch you next time.